Hi Internet. Alright, this video hopefully is going to serve two purposes. Number one, my initial objective is to simply give you my thoughts and opinion on the new Cybertruck brought to you by Tesla. And number two, my goal and objective is to talk about the stock and let you know my thoughts and perspective on what it's likely going to do over the next few days, weeks, and months, and maybe even years. Fair warning, I have been deemed by the internet as the Tesla bull. Back in June of 2019, almost at the exact bottom, I came out on a very public network and said that I was extremely bullish on Tesla. And of course, as you can see from some of these comments, that didn't go over very well. Let's talk about why, dive into some specifics, and give you, again, a beautiful glance about my thoughts on Tesla, and most specifically, the Cybertruck. Let's get into it. Here is what we need to start off by saying. Yes, the Cybertruck is a little weird looking. I think that was probably the point though. If you're going to hate on this video and you're going to hate on the truck itself, you need to come up with something other than it's ugly and hideous and the windows broke with the ball bearing. We all know that. We get it. Let's move on. Our initial reaction, me and my girlfriend were sitting in bed watching the live event, you know, like real couples. And when the truck first came out on stage, yes, we were a little appalled. It is unquestionable that it was a shocking event and we just did not know what to think. We were shell shocked. And I think that is the entire point of the Cybertruck. Elon and the team knows this. They realize that this truck was supposed to be polarizing. People are either going to hate it or love it. And without question, this is going to be one that is not going to outsell the F-150. I'm not here to say that it will do that. In fact, I will go ahead and mention my first opinion up front. This truck will have 1 million pre-orders, most likely by the end of the year. And when that happens, the Tesla company itself will be receiving $100 million of cash flow injection for some R&D and some more design updates. Consider this, that the image that we currently have, the model that we currently have, is a prototype. It is still a concept. So as they begin releasing and creating and updating, it's going to look cooler and cooler. What's going to happen over time is people are going to be hating on it so much that eventually they're going to come over and start liking it. I actually think it's funny, the memes and the images that are being posted. I like looking at them and I like laughing at them. They are comical. I mean, take this one for example. This is straight up hilarious. Tesla announces the new Cyberbus, and look at this thing. This is funny. The Cybertruck, yes, looks a little Mad Max, Back to the Future's RoboCop-esque. Here's the thing though, a lot of people liked those movies and a lot of people bought them and watched them. If you are a prepper or someone who loves the zombie apocalypse or you like shooting guns, you probably are going to be pre-ordering this vehicle. In fact, let me just go through and just kind of talk a little bit about, so here's another one. Check this out. This is great. Love this. Love that people are so just appalled by the shape. Here's what's happening, my friends. People are starting to come around. When this truck starts getting created in a new image, new color, people are going to dig it. I mean, tell me that you don't think this is cool. Look at how sleek that is. Look at how this driving down the road is going to look like a mock jet. It is so cool and sleek and interesting and fun and unique. I mean, I can't wait. So what we have is we have people who are ordering this thing. Again, so far 146,000 people have ordered this truck as a pre-order. Now, granted, not all of them are going to keep their order. Some of them are going to get refunds before production because it is very, very far away. I realize that, but a lot of people are ordering this thing. And here's a picture of one of my buddies. His name is Josh. They're starting to come around. People are starting to openly admit it, and they're going to be going against the crowd. Anyone who likes this truck is most often a contrarian by heart. If you go with the crowd, you're not going to like this vehicle. If you are a contrarian, you probably will openly admit it, and as time goes on, the quote-unquote cool kids will be drinking the Kool-Aid and other people simply won't. That's okay. There are some issues that we really need to chat about really quick about the actual Cybertruck. So let's go bearish viewpoint here for just a moment. So, some bearish viewpoints and opinions. What's really interesting is the fact that the windows actually did not break. My girlfriend brought up a very good point. What if, and what's going to happen in the horrible instance that one of these trucks drives into a lake or ocean or river or something like that, and someone needs to escape? How are they going to do that? I hope Tesla thought about this in the designs. I'm sure they did. Maybe there's a fail-safe button or something they can click where all the windows go down, or all the windows go down automatically if there's a certain level of water in the vehicle. But the fact that windows are kind of supposed to break. So the fact that these don't, even though they did a little bit, okay, is a little concerning, and that's something that we should at least consider and think about. Also, my girlfriend brought up a great point about the exoskeleton being stainless steel. Now, this is something that is not going to be a massive challenge, but when water gets on stainless steel, as you likely know, it can look a little streaky and residuey, and you're going to have to really clean that with a special type of wipe or cloth. Maybe Tesla has already thought about that as well, and they're going to come up with something that's going to be easily cleanable. I don't know yet, though. The stainless steel, I'm going to admit, is not my favorite look, but check out this rendering that my girlfriend did. Yeah, she's pretty cool. I think this vehicle can look badass in a different color. Matte black is already something that's being produced right now. Someone shot a note to Elon and was like, hey man, make it matte black, and he said, sure, in good old Elon fashion, just making it happen on the internet. If this comes out in lime green, red, or blue, I'm telling you it's going to be sexy. Look at this image right here. This is such a sexy vehicle. If you can't see the future in this vehicle, I'm sorry. It is really fun to look at. Now again, this concept of this vehicle is going to change a little bit over time. I fully expect that. But when the price sticker came out, I thought it was going to be like 150,000, 300,000. When he was talking about this vehicle, I was just blown away at the price. The base model, even the 3-tiered all-wheel drive tri-motor model, which is the one I pre-ordered by the way, is going to be pretty sick. 0 to 60 in 2.69 seconds, towing capacity, all of those specs. Truck lovers are going bananas. Again, I do not expect this to outsell the F-150. No model of Tesla has outsold anything that Ford has produced at this moment, mostly because Ford has been around for so long and has accomplished so much already in its time here in the US. But remember, Tesla is the first American created car manufacturing company since Chrysler, and they're doing amazing. This is going to be a very interesting unveiling, and without question, we can all agree that this is the most talked about vehicle launch probably in history. I'm sure when the Mustang initially came out, when the Corvette initially came out, and the Porsche was designed, people were going bananas over that as well and just really talking about it. But this is, to date, the biggest release. In fact, Rivian, one of the competitors for this model and for Tesla, is now getting more news than ever because they're comparing it, right? The Cybertruck is being compared to the Rivian vehicle. Rivian wasn't even known by probably more than 75% of all of those who were watching the Tesla unveiling, and now they know a little bit about it. So Rivian's getting more publicity just from this coming out. Any kind of press is good press, and bad press is great press, and I think this is going to be a very polarizing event in the future to come for Tesla. So just to reiterate, this vehicle is going to drive up popularity in Tesla stock over time. That happens to be my specialty. There are a lot of really great videos out there already online about the Cybertruck, about its specs, and comparing it to other vehicles, and I entirely suggest that you check those out. But this is the first video on the internet describing what someone thinks that the stock is going to do. And yes, I do happen to be a full-time stock trader. I've been involved in the US stock market for around 11 years now, coming up on 12 actually in February. So we're going to be discussing and looking at this from a shareholder standpoint. And yes, I do own shares of Tesla. So we're going to be kind of going in and talking about what I personally think that this stock's going to do and how you can benefit from it and potentially even use this stock to definitely pay for the pre-order, but maybe even pay for the down payment or the monthly payments of the vehicle itself. Let's dive into the charts. I'm gonna do what I do best here from here on out and discuss my viewpoints and opinions. This portion of the video is going to be entirely unique from what you most likely will be watching regarding the Tesla Cybertruck. Very few people discuss and talk about being an owner rather than just a consumer. If you are purchasing this vehicle or you plan on purchasing this vehicle or really any vehicle at all ever from any company, you should at least figure out if you can make some money off of the stock before purchasing that vehicle. This is called investing. This is called being an owner rather than just a consumer, which is financially a wise decision. What we're looking at right now is a monthly chart on Tesla. This is also what's been referred to as a candlestick chart. I'm not going to go into candlesticks, but specifically, this is a big version of what the chart has been doing and what the company's been doing since its IPO. You can see it had the big run up in 2013. This is when Tesla gained most of its popularity and notoriety, was in early 2013, 14, and 15, when Tesla's price went up astronomically. Come over to this chart, it's actually a little bit easier just to kind of calculate. You can kind of see, let's see, we're talking from January 2013, so we're talking about 600% return from January 2013 into 2015. So about 2 years, 500% return. That is absolutely astronomical. Then what we did is just trade sideways for a while. So this sideways consolidation is actually something referred to as a distribution. But I'm not going to really get into all that right now. We're just going to talk about what the stock is likely going to do from here. This consolidation, here we go and here we go. You'll notice that it really acted beautiful as a level of price point discovery, supply and demand. Then 2017, Tesla made a new high and then traded sideways again for a while, traded back down, and lo and behold, it came right back down to the previous support level and buying demand area. This is actually where I came out with that public statement back in June of this year saying I was extremely bullish on Tesla and you should be looking at a long position. Since then, we have bounced nicely on Tesla. So what I'm here to describe is what I think is most likely going to happen on the price of Tesla as far as the shares are concerned in the next few weeks, days, and years. The most relevant thing to consider is you already have a strong resistance out around 380. What I'm going to do now is zoom in here to a weekly chart so we can just get a little bit more detail about what we are likely going to do. This 380 resistance has been a level where you can see the stock has dropped numerous times in the past. 2017, September, June, and then over here in August. And then you had the alleged buyout price issue run up that occurred in late December 2018. And that's when we had a cataclysmically strong drop. And then since then, we've really bounced nicely. Based on this information, I do think that Tesla's going to hang out in this consolidation for a little bit longer. Although based on the valuation, I do realize that the valuation of Tesla as far as its share price and its market capitalization is pretty large. It's about to get larger. When, and this is not an if, my friends, this is a when. When Tesla breaks out of this massive consolidation phase, specifically closing and breaking out of this 380, I highly imagine it's going to do the exact same thing that it did over here. And again, this is back in 2017 where it broke out that consolidation and ran up for, good old-fashioned 100 points. When Tesla does this, again, breaks 380 and trades up into 480, it's going to create a new range. This is most likely what it's going to look like. I'll minimize this for a moment, and you can kind of see that if it broke out of here, breaks out, and runs up to the 480, they'll create a new consolidation up here for a while, eventually coming back down to test 380, and then again almost without question, continuing to go up. This cash injection from the pre-orders that are happening is very small relative to how much cash Tesla needs to continue to operate. But I was just in the country of Australia for 3 weeks, and every single person that I asked and talked to in Australia had never test driven a Tesla. For those of you who most likely are watching this video, you probably have test driven a Tesla. If you have not, highly encourage it, because once you do that, your opinion on these vehicles most likely will shift dramatically. That is what's going to happen to many people in Australia, and you have a really large audience of people down there, especially in Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane, who are going to be likely looking at picking up a new vehicle when they start coming out in the market. So Australia is a huge market for Tesla, mostly because they are easily constructed in the different side of the road, the different steering wheel, all of those things with Teslas now being made in the factories are able to create them faster and more uniquely designed for that country. But the demand there is going to grow. So there are other countries that are going to be looking at acquiring new Tesla vehicles. And as the vehicles do continue to become required and excited about, the company is going to continue to grow. This chart that I'm doing now is what's called a logarithm chart. And what we can kind of see here is this nice little comfortable, what I refer to as like a trend line. So this trend line on Tesla kind of shows its just general overall trending price range. And what we'll notice is I do expect us to come back down to this price and eventually bounce in the future. So I'm gonna go now into this is a weekly, we've looked at weekly and monthly. I'm gonna go into a daily time frame. And for my shorter term traders, give my perspective of what I think is gonna happen on a daily chart. This particular gap that occurred is actually a very normal gap. This is something that happens all of the time when companies reveal some big information. It's called buy the rumor, sell the news. This is a terminology and a phrase that's been around in the stock market for decades. Anytime something is leading up to a new release, the stock gets bought up. And when the news actually comes out, images and pictures of that item, regardless of what the item is, the stock will sell off a little bit. It's happened with Apple. It's very classic with Apple, Google, Amazon, Alibaba, JD.com, Ferrari, many other companies as well engage in this exact same type of trading psychology and sentiment. So this gap is a strong gap. I'll go over to this charting software for just a moment. And what we'll notice is the gap that occurred is a change in price overnight. On Thursday, Tesla was trading and closed at $354.83. We opened the next day at $340. That is a $14 difference overnight. So anyone who had bought Tesla anywhere in this general area is now trapped. They're losing money and they're a little afraid and frightened. So from here, I do anticipate eventually one of two things happening in the short-term picture. Tesla either trading sideways for just 2 or 3 more days and then breaking lower, eventually coming down into this gap that happened on earnings and trading into the 285-ish, 286-ish area, which will be a phenomenal spot to be picking up some shares of Tesla long term. However, if that one does not occur, which I think is the most likely scenario, if the market takes the news of the pre-orders very well, then I could see Tesla popping up and breaking higher. If it does that and takes out all of the people who got in on Friday and we start creating a squeeze, the stock will most likely hit 380 by the end of the year. And if it does that, some more news, some more Elon trolling on Twitter, I could see a new all-time high on Tesla by February of 2020. Now, is that going to occur? It's going to all depend on how we actually react over the next 2 or 3 days to the amount of pre-orders and the fact that people are slowly coming to terms with the look of the vehicle. But if Tesla comes down into this 270-ish, 280-ish region, this is a very, very good spot to buy, in my opinion. Previous old resistance there in 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, acted as phenomenal support in 2018, and you can see some moving averages are converging right there. Personally, to me, I see it as a great long-term buying opportunity if we get a nice little pullback, which I do expect at some point. Because if we come back over to this chart and then go back to the monthly chart, again, this trend line I do think will come into play at some juncture. Worst Case scenario, again, we sell off, have a really nice sell off back down to the 190, high 200s, and then bounce. I would be extremely bullish on Tesla if that did in fact come to play out, although I don't think so. I think the relative low of Tesla is in. What we're about to do is we're about to create a public participation hype storm of media, photographs, videos, images. All of social media is going to be talking about the Cybertruck. YouTube is blowing up about it. StockTwits, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram. What Elon Musk is doing and has done is going to continue to revolutionize not only the automobile industry, but also the battery industry, the energy industry with the solar panels. He's working on vertically integrating the entire process. So now you can have an ATV that drives to the back of your truck that charges simultaneously while getting charged from solar panels created by SolarCity and Tesla that charge your trucks, your cars, your entire home, everything operated and constructed through the Tesla ecosystem. I'm really excited about that day, and I do not think it's very far-fetched to believe it could be happening this next decade. Not only that, but you also have the Tesla semi-truck, autopilot, and the driving autonomous vehicles where you're gonna have and totally revolutionize the transportation industry with getting goods and services from all across this country, keeping our people more safe, right, from accidents, both related to the drivers and the cars on the semi-truck vehicles. That's something to consider and think about. And when that does begin to happen, as it will begin to happen, you can easily see Tesla to start breaking through and really creating these strong moves. Realistically, one could say pretty safely that Tesla has been relatively sideways since about 2014, which is approximately 5 years. So when this large distribution phase on Tesla breaks out, and it will, you will see an absolute massive storm of buying and a lot more people coming over to join the Tesla bandwagon. Now again, that is all my opinion and perspective. Although I do have positions on Tesla and they are very bullish positions, I will continue to have positions on Tesla. I will continue to trade Tesla. And my goal is before the Cybertruck that I ordered, the tri-motor all-wheel with autopilot, my goal is to pay that vehicle off by trading Tesla before the production is complete and finalized on that actual vehicle. Friends, family, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, investors, traders from around the world, I hope this video was useful, beneficial, exciting, and enriching. Thank you for watching it. Please, if you found value from this video, click subscribe, share with your friends, post it on social media. Let me know what video I can help with next. If you have a question, let me know what chart you would like me to analyze. If you need or have anything, any suggestions, any way that I can enrich your life or the lives of others, let me know and I will continue doing my best with that. All right, friends and family, that's what we have for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm about to go trade some Tesla right now, and it's slightly moving a little bit today. Anyway, I really appreciate your time, your energy, and your dedication to this channel. Click that subscribe button, share it with your friends, and let me know how I can help you and enrich your life. You absolutely rock, and until next time, love, live, learn. Bye.